That was the other subject that you
The
were gonna
biggest
talk
subject,
about
which I
today.
really want to talk today, and it's perfect timing, is actually about 2012. Because
Okay.
we heard
Yeah,
it so
what
many
about that?
times.
We're about 2012.
Yeah, what did you hear about 2012? Tell them what you heard.
No, it's just vague.
It's vague, and it talks about what?
the end of
the end of the world.
Right. Okay. Now, my Bible tells me that no man knoweth the hour
Or the day or an hour.
of Jesus' coming.
But you see, you just missed it again.
Yeah.
You said Jesus is coming.
Right.
All those theorists talks about the end of the world.
Right. Okay.
They don't even consider what the end of the world considered to be when Jesus Christ comes.
Right, because it really wouldn't be actually. So
Exactly.
you're right.
So there's a couple things
but-
which is supposed to happen according to the Bible prophecies before Jesus Christ comes.
Yeah. But
And let's go backwards, kind of.
Yeah, well, before you do that, yeah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you go backwards, and then we'll.
Well, before Jesus Christ comes back, what do we have? We have plagues. 7 last plagues talks about Revelation 15, and Revelation 16 explains by which God finishes his work. Before 7 last plagues, there is a time of the Antichrist where it's going to be introduced.
Okay.
There's going to be a time of peace and safety, because Jesus Christ told us when they say peace and safety, the sudden destruction will come. Well, we already actually passed most of the other ones. We live right now, today is what? 16th of May?
17th of May.
17th of May. So the New Age movement predicting the Antichrist to be arriving on May 21st of this year. So May 21st of this year, they're going to try to introduce the Maitreya. Maitreya is they call so-called the world teacher, the world master, and he's the one who's going to make the whole world better. So guys, just keep an eye for it. Possibility actually being aired through the Oprah network. The reason why, because Oprah is very involved in the New Age movement.
Okay.
And that's a subject on its own, just like Jay-Z, Illuminati. I mean, all demonic worshiping. I don't like them. There's plenty of information I can give. The good sites to go to. Check out on the YouTube the videos of Forerunner 777, who really goes into details and explain. And I thank all those courageous Christian people to expose all these secret organizations. So now 2012 is a specific date.
Okay.
It talks about December 21st, 2012.
How did they come to that date?
And the way they come to it is by the Mayan calendar. And the Mayan calendar, Mayans calendar. So the Mayan was actually tracking the stars.
Okay.
And they were able to calculate, just by the movement of the stars.
But there's not very many Mayans left today.
No,
So
absolutely
I guess to
not.
them it would be the end of the world. I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
be funny, but
exactly.
anyway, the thing is that what gave the Mayans the authority on that?
Oh, you're so good about it. So let's go back and find out what did they come up with this calendar.
This
To
is
start it up,
predicting the end of the world, right?
yeah. To start it up, why don't you open the Genesis 1?
Okay.
We're gonna go on the
Genesis.
third day. What happened with Genesis 1 on the third day?
Genesis 1.
It's a verse 14, 15, and 16. Why don't you read it to me?
Okay, I got to first find
Here you
it.
go.
Genesis 1:14, right?
Yep.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
So hold on. God creates the stars for what?
For lights. Oh,
And
well,
what?
let me
It says
see.
for signs.
For let the be in the firmament for the heights divide. Let them be for signs, right?
And
for seasons
and
for days and years.
oh, so it's a calendar.
Right.
So on the third and half day, God create the calendar.
Right.
How the Jews nation, what calendar did they had? They had moon calendar.
Right.
Okay, where is the moon calendar came from? And most of you will have no clue, because the Bible doesn't have all the books which was written by the holy men.
Okay.
One of them, which I will talk about it, is Book of Enoch. Enoch was the grandfather of Noah. So we're talking about the time before flood. And the stories, especially, I'm going to touch up on Revelations, on Genesis 6, because at that time we had so-called giants on earth. Okay, whereas the sons of God came down and took to themselves wives, and to them was born giants. Giants is the wrong translation. It's actually translation Nephilim.
What's that?
Nephilim is just a third race. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
Okay, it's a race between fallen angels and humans. Many people right away say, "Oh, angels can't have sex, blah, blah, blah." Where did you get that?
Well, that's an interesting concept because you would figure that if they could, they would. Jesus had referred to himself as not being a spirit. Then again, he also referred to when they were challenging him on the marriage paradigm, and they said, "Well, whose wife was this man? Would this woman be? Because she had 8 husbands, and they all died." And so he said they're going to be. He said, "You greatly err because." They won't be given in marriage because their bodies, he said, they'll be as the angels.
Hold on. He said it specifically, for in resurrection you will be like angels, not given in marriages.
Right. So.
Okay, in resurrection.
Right.
That's a future event.
Right.
Okay, so what's happened with devil?
What I'm saying is that, but we're looking at the particular point that he made relating to the bodies, okay? Because they were obviously also including the physical part of that.
Let's go back to the story of Lot.
Right.
Okay, all of a sudden, right before Lot has to leave, 3 angels look like men comes to the city.
Right.
And all the rest of the people wants to do what with them?
Have
sex with them. So that means those angels who looks like a man, you think they missing some parts?
No, but
you think they cannot?
But see, now there's a difference between looking like and actually being it, because that was why the disciples were confused, because when Jesus came, he looked like a man, but he acted like a spirit because he came through the door, So, and he said, "Well, I'm not a spirit because spirit don't have." This is when he explained, and see, we know that the angels are spirits because they were, evil angels falling from heaven. He said they don't have bones and flesh, and they can't eat food like this.
But the Revelation, the Genesis 6 teaches us what the sons of God came and took the daughters of man as wives. Yeah. And now, take a look. The only way we can really conclude this whole thing is by reading Isaiah 8:20. Okay. And it speaks there to the law and to this testimony. If they do not speak according to this word, it's because there is no light in them.
Right.
So we have to consider anything we read has to be according to the law, 10 Commandments, and the testimony, the prophecy. There's having angels' reproductive system working out has anything to do with the law?
I don't know what you... No.
Does it has anything to do with the prophecy?
No.
Okay, so there is nothing contradiction because we have no clue what's really happened in that time. And the only thing I can do is accept what my Bible teaches or what's the book of Enoch, because the book of Enoch has never said anything like, "Oh, don't keep 10 commandments." Or Jesus Christ ain't gonna come. Or there's... read it and learn it. It has to be according to the law and to the testimony. If there are some little things we're missing, we gotta remember we may have to accept it because they don't teach us against the law and the testimony.
Right.
Okay. So now let's recoup it. What we learned. God created the sun, the moon, and the stars for the signs, seasons, days, and months. So it's a calendar, and it also identifies the sun. The signs. Okay. So now let's go back at the day when Jesus Christ was born on earth. Who came to see him?
The wise men.
Oh, the wise men. Who are they?
And the shepherds.
And the shepherds. Good. Yeah. Shepherds represents down-to-earth, simple people. And the magi, those wise men, was considered to be devil worshippers.
Oh, okay. Why did you say that, though?
Because that's how everybody say. Everybody considers. So as soon as you learn anything about astronomy, not astrology, astronomy. Oh man, you demonic man, you don't know that.
Right.
Because people don't even understand what the stars was actually created by God as a calendar.
Okay.
And how many times do you have heard that in churches? Never. They will never even consider that stuff.
Right, right.
So now all of a sudden they say, oh, whoever counts the days and hours, man, they're just devil worshippers, they have no clue. No. There are those people who really take the word and study. But in that book of Enoch, it explains a very, very serious point. But those sons of men, which is those fallen angels, they were very, very high in the position because they were there during the creation. Okay. They witnessed the whole creation. They witnessed everything. They were called watchers, and they were able to understand a lot of laws which man couldn't. And it's in that book. It explains what they came and disclosed that information to the men's and women's, and that's how was able, like Mayans, when that calendar came. You can identify any fallen angel worshiping or demonic worshiping by the symbols. Who do they worship? They worship snakes and dragons. The Bible teaches us specifically what the snake and dragon represents.
Right. Okay.
So it gives you already a clue. 5,000, 6,000 years almost later on, you still can identify who did they worship and where did the knowledge came from.
Right.
Okay. So now they come up with this actual perfect calendar, which was calculated the specific moment. And what is that moment? What did they come up with? 2012, as I remember, I was third grade kid, 9 years old.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm reading in Russia. I'm in Russia. Went to my uncle's house, and he has a bunch of stack of the magazines about technology. And I'm reading there what's in 2012. There will be Parade of Planet.
Okay.
You heard of that?
Yeah. The planets line up.
Okay, the planets all line up in one line. Okay, very, very unique. Happens once 26,000 years.
Okay.
So, of course, I almost forgot about it later on in my life. I come back and hold on, that did not change. So then I started learning even more. Apparently, in 2012, not only all the planets are lining up, we also go into the middle of our galaxy. Okay, most people don't even want to consider talking about galaxy, where you at, and everything else.
That would take years for us to get to the middle of the
galaxy. Hold on. It takes 26,000 years to cross the middle of the galaxy and come back, which is
26,000.
26,000 years. But you got to remember, how did God create the man? Did he create him as a little baby, or he created him fully grown?
Right.
Okay, same thing here. He already created us, and we was already at a certain position. So now we're getting crossing this point. What is so big deal about this point? Well, apparently in the middle of our galaxy we have extreme radiation. For the simple reason we have a black hole. Black hole, the energy shoots up and then swirls right into the middle and then spreads out right between the galaxies. So when you cross in that point, you get extra burst of radiation. Second of all, on each side of the galaxy you have different polarity. Okay. It's a magnet. Our planet is a magnet. Okay. All of a sudden, you got all the planets lining up. We're going through the middle of the galaxy. They're all getting radiated and hotter, which is we already can see right now. Everybody, well, of course, God trying to make you believe what it's a global warming. Right. In reality, it's sun getting hotter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's what the whole purpose is of the fourth plague, when it says the sun will scorch a man with intense heat. And it's open up Revelation 16. Okay. You know, that's, well, actually, before we go to Revelation 16, let's open Revelation 6:12. Okay. Okay? And that's where we're going to start. There is a certain event happened when the sixth seal opened. 6:12. Right. Okay, why don't you read it to us? Okay. What happens then?
Let me find it.
Okay, I'll read it. Okay. And I looked. When he opened the sixth seal, lo behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to earth, and as a fig tree drops the late figs when it's shaken by the mighty wind. Then the skies receded as a scroll when it's rolled up, and every mountain island was moved out of its place, and the most important one, and the kings of the earth, and the great men and rich men, and commanders and mighty men, every slave and every free man, hid themselves in caves in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath has come, and who's able to stand. So now it identifies these things where as soon as he opens the sixth seal, it's going to identify what the wrath of the Lamb will start. Please open Revelation 15.
Revelation 15.
Yep, right from the beginning.
Okay, now what we want to do...
We got to finish it.
Yeah, we will finish it. We're going to... go ahead. Let's
do it.
We're going to take a small commercial break.
Okay.
And we want you to not only come back, but we want you to make sure that you have your Bible so you can follow this stuff and see if we can believe it or not. But anyway...
all right.
Okay, I'll let you read this one. Go ahead.
And Revelation 15, it starts like that. Then I saw another sign in heavens. So hold on. We just read about in Genesis 3 there is going to be signs. Okay, and it says there is going to be another sign in heaven. And it says, great and marvelous, 7 angels having 7 last plagues, for in them the wrath of God is complete.
Right.
So what is the wrath of God is? 7 last plagues.
That's right.
And it will be identified by what? By the sign in heaven.
Right.
Great and marvelous. So now all of a sudden we're going back into 6:12, and let's go back and deliberate on what's actually what talks about it. So now it talks about the great earthquake, which, as I told you, which will be happening in 2012 by the reversal of polarities. When the shift happens, the sun will become black as sackcloth because of all the volcanoes will erupt. We're already seeing all this stuff happening. So to think with 2012 there is something you can do, or you're going to send another Bruce Willis and he's going to stop all this alignment, it's a foolish thought. Then we talk about, and the stars of heaven fell to earth as a fig tree drops by the mighty wind. So does any of you ever heard of let me ask you a question. Yeah. You know, in our solar system we have an asteroid belt.
Right.
Do you know where it came from?
No.
You have no clue?
No.
Well, the asteroid belt looks like a remnant of the broken up planet.
Okay.
And actually, if you find out...
You know, I want you to hold this because break will come back now. And just stay tuned to our Friends of Justice, For God Productions, Real People, Real Answers. And today's subject is...
2012.
2012. A friend of mine joined us here. He's always welcome to come on my show. His name is, we call him Muchacho Man. This is Francois.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
That's right, man.
Yeah,
that's right.
Francois. I never say the last name right because he's from Rwanda, and I don't know Kinyarwanda.
Yeah, another name is very easy for...
How do you say your last name?
Nambajimana.
Nambajimana. Yeah, see,
I'm coming from the heart of Africa.
Right. We're going to be having some other African members coming on this show from time to time. And there was another show, Intervene. He's already did a nice presentation. I don't want you all to miss it, so that's why I told you. Just it's good to have my good buddy here, and he's gonna get into this discussion late, but he'll listen and we'll have a good time. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Carry on, Andre. Andre is talking about. First of all, he's talking about the end of the world coming in 2012.
No. That's a lie.
Okay. What is?
I do not talk about end of the world in 2012. 2012 it identifies in the Bible as a beginning of the last 7 plagues, not the end of the world.
Okay,
that's
but
that's a deception.
About? That's what I'm asking you. Now, I know you're not talking about it, but that's the subject matter. Is somebody has said that the world is going to come to an end in 2012. Okay, now what is your take on that?
Well, like we explained it already.
Give me a summary of it.
Revelation 6:12 explains when the 7 last plagues happens, there is a certain events will happen in the sky. That's told us in Revelation 15, right from the beginning. Then I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous. The 7 angels having the 7 last plagues for them. In them the wrath of God is complete. So when you see a sign in heaven, and the 7 angels starts putting their plagues, it identifies as the wrath of God. And that's exactly what talks about it in Revelation 6:12. When you gotta read it again. You just came here, but we already talked about it. And I looked, when he opened the 6th seal, behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth, and as the fig trees its laid figs when it's shaken by the mighty wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll when it's rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. And the kings of the earth and the mighty men and every slave and every free man hid themselves in caves in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath has come, and who's able to stand up. So when it identifies the time when the wrath of God begins, it gives you the clues. You have the great earthquake. You have the sun becomes as a sackcloth. You have the stars of heaven falling. That's where we stopped actually for the first time. Do you know what the asteroid belt in our solar system came from?
Go ahead.
I figured the asteroid belt is the remnant of broken up planet, and we found the really good references, which is 200-year, well, it's actually 5,000-year-old writing of Anunnakis. Anunnakis is the one who called themselves, we're the one who from heaven to earth came. It goes back to the book of Enoch. It identifies those fallen angels. Anytime you read about the Anunnakis, it talks about the fallen angels. And in those writings was specifically described what the planet Tiamat collided with planet Nibiru. And when it's collided, it was broken up, and then Nibiru was thrusted into the long elliptical orbit around the sun, less than 3,600 years. Every 3,600 years, it shows up between Mars and Jupiter, and the due date again, 2012. Just like every other planet will be lined up in all the...
So that's where they got the 2012 from?
Yes, because it's lining up everything in the galaxy. It lines up, it
so
has a divining cross.
Like the prediction is true.
It identifies the specific time. Yes, I mean, when the plagues begins, you can actually pretty much say it's almost the end of the world, almost, but it's the end of the scene. Because every person in the world will make their choices who they follow before the plagues begins. Because you cannot make yourself better once the plagues begins. Remember Revelation 15.
Why is that?
Revelation 15 teaches us when the temple was when the 6-7 plagues happens, what's happened? The temple was filled with the smoke from glory of God and from his power, and no one was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues and 7 angels were completed. Meaning, Jesus Christ right now in the temple, I mean, he's our high priest. He's the one who forgives our sins. When the temple is filled with smoke, if this room will fill up right now with smoke, will you be able to be here?
No way.
Okay, so when the temple of God filled up with smoke, no man can go into the temple and through their prayers or anything else to ask for forgiveness. There's no more forgiveness. Everybody made their choice because some people took it as a joke. Some people took it very seriously because God says, whatever he gave us prophecies, they all will be fulfilled according to his word, not according to our word. It's everything going to be happening there.
And summing up, then you're saying that now the dividing line is there. He said, let those that is good be good and those that are evil
Yes,
be evil.
that's exactly what the time will
that's
start.
what
Yes,
moving.
that's exactly
what
what
happened in 2012?
Yes, that's it.
Oh,
This
okay.
is specific. You see,
Then what do
we
you
don't
think
know
about
the
that?
day of the hour of Jesus Christ coming.
Yeah, he has a question.
Okay, go ahead.
When the last time this was happening, because everything have a sequence in the life or in the life of the world. If this will be the first time or this have happened before, if it was before, do you remember when this have happened? When the last something like this have happened?
Oh, you're talking about
Or
like
it will be the first time?
It will be for the first time in a human history, according to the Bible chronology, of if we only been here 6,000 years. Because the cycle, what I'm talking about, which goes through the middle of the galaxy, lasts 26,000 years.
Is what I was asking.
Yeah, it's for the first time, but it's something which will happen. God knew it right from the beginning. Man, of course, doesn't know. Most people cannot even comprehend how far is the moon from us versus how far is the sun from us. Nor do even want to consider where they are in the galaxy. They don't want to even think about those stuff.
Now I'm gonna jump ahead. I'm gonna jump ahead and ask you something. What does that have to do with choosing a day? Some people, I've heard this rumor that this day of worship is gonna make a difference. What do you know about all of that?
Well, take a look. If we read through the whole Revelation, Revelation 14 talks about the 3 angels comes up. The first angel comes up right away and saying, fear God and give him glory for the day of his of his judgment has come. Worship him who creates the heavens, the earth, and the springs of water. It specifically tells you right away. You want to make sure you identify who do you worship. You want to make sure you, by your action, you identify what you worship to the Creator. So worshiping to the Creator. What can you do to identify what you worship to the Creator? Tell me.
You praise God, I guess. Praise
Well,
God.
how would you know if it's a creator or it's a fake one?
Oh, okay, I don't know.
What can you do?
Everything you do, right in the Bible, written in the Bible,
Yeah.
is true.
Yes.
Because the word of God have been created in truth. When you know, to know that what you're talking, what you do is you are worshiping God, is when this is the same writing in the Bible. You can show somebody in the Bible. It is right, like you tell me, God will put sun in the sky, in sun. I want to give you a little bit of example because my name, normally they call me Gorilla Man. I have been all life in the jungle life. I have been with the pygmy. I have been every people. They have their belief and how they feel. For example, in 1994, there was a genocide in Rwanda.
Yes.
That genocide have killed more than 2 million people died. But myself in the jungle, we have one tree in the forest is calling, and if you go to everywhere where they have a forest and a mountain, they know those signs you are talking. It's not only in 1012. God cannot accept that some people die without giving them the sign or dream. It's not possible. Before the genocide, I want to tell you what happened. In the sky, is it all the time the sun was red, was full of blood in the morning. In the park where I was working, the animal left. You never see in animals kingdom. For example, we have eruption where the elephant are like in Virunga mountain. Every 5-10 years we have eruption, but no any elephant have been catched on fire with the volcano. But human, I have seen human died because they look in the sky. They know when this will happen. They see the bird moving this direction. Okay. They see the one tree we have is calling
signs.
Oh yeah.
Is calling Umukefu. When in 25 years, is a cycle of 25 years. When this tree climb and go down, the people die by famine, no food. The country becoming dry, or people die. So God, my God, I worship. Not only in 2012, always from the past. He cannot let the people die or something happen. Even there are some place in North America, the people of the forests, they have a look at what will happen. They know tsunami will come. They don't have a TV. They don't have nothing, and they move it.
That's amazing.
And they came back. And they came back. They came back when the tsunami finished. So why? Because God put that sign in human. Sometimes we die because we say we don't care. But this nothing can happen. Even sometimes I tell to the Rwandans, if somebody from Africa or somebody say, nobody cannot say he didn't know that the genocide will happen, because there was a sign on the sky, there was sun in the tree, there was sun in the birds. I get this opportunity to tell you what you say is true. What the Bible have said is true. If somebody have any question, he can call me or can see me. I will tell him the same. I have told my friend in Rwandans the same. And myself, I told the people before something happened, I talked to my tourist. The elephant saved my life. This was a mission. This was some program I have done here. So the animal, the earth, what you have created I come back to the subject. What
Yeah.
God have created, He have given the name. He's here to collaborate. And all these things people do today, science, technology. The first person to go to the moon was a chimpanzee. It was animal. The medicine.
The one who sent them.
The medicine, the insect, we learn a lot from insect, from gorillas. Like I've talked last time, the gorilla, today they have found in 99%, 95 are human. The many medicine, many technology we use, have been to a long time, but God have put in the animals, in the moon, in the sunshine, everything to give us. So He can also communicate it, because God will not come and knock on your door. He will send. He give you eyes and the brain to sort the thing and know what will happen.
Okay, so now that was a real good summary. Now, what are the signs we should be looking for?
Oh, the
Because
signs,
we
what
don't
it
have much
says.
time. We have signs that we're going to be.
Well, we
running
gotta
out
be
of time.
talking about back again into this. The
Okay.
things what you were talking about, what gives the signs, yes, it's very important. But this specific sign is the last sign you will ever see, and it's the most most important signs
What
of
is
your
that?
life. The Revelation 6:12. When all these things, as I was explaining, will happen. If you don't wake up and you do not get the seal of God, you will never in your life have another chance to be saved by God. Period.
Okay, but now I hold that, but I want to know what that seal is, because we don't have time.
Seal of God is the most important things, but I still did not finish talking about this last plagues. What is most important thing? We gotta look it up. And it's Revelation 6:15, and it talks about when the 7 last plagues begins, there's one thing what happens, which never happened in the world history ever before. And it says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and commanders, and mighty men, and every slave, and every free man, hid themselves in caves and rocks and the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Till last 2 years, most people had no clue until they watched Jesse Ventura 2012, who actually exposed all the governments of the world are actually building right now bunkers just to survive 2012. Our Denver airport, have you ever been to Denver airport?
Yes.
Actually has 300,000 square feet underground bunkers specifically designed for survival of 2012. All the missile silos from Russia, from United States, already been converted into the condominiums to survive 2012. Your government gave you a chance to enter a lottery to survive 2012. It's ended in September 9th of 2009. So since that time, you have been abandoned to die. They all know you will die in those days, because there's nothing you can do about changing global alignment. Nothing you can do about polar shift. There's nothing you can do about it. There is nobody can do.
In all the world, or
all the world. It's gonna happen all over the world. And
what solution? What solution
the
can
solution
you give us?
is
Can give us to escape
the only people
this
who
catastrophe.
will survive 2012, the last 7 plagues, are those who has the seal of God. If you do not know what the seal of God, run from your worthless church. I'm repeating. If your preacher do not know what the seal of God is, run from that worthless church. The seal of God is pretty simple. Every seal has 3 things in it. It has somebody's name, somebody's territory, and somebody's title. Let's say Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Let's say Pilate, governor of Judea. Obama, president of United States. You have name, title, territory. The same things is actually in God's law, and it's extremely important. It's hidden in the 4th commandment, in the 1 commandment which starts with the word remember. So do you remember the 1 commandment which starts with the word remember? Do you? Yeah. Okay, so what is it?
Remember the day of your life, your God.
No. Specifically.
Okay.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
It is what
okay,
I
hold
told
on.
you the seal.
Hold on.
I told you the seal, the Sabbath.
No,
Yes, it is. Hold on.
Yes.
Why?
I haven't
Why?
told you. You know.
Yes, it is.
You see, you didn't
100%.
say yes.
Yeah. Take a look. For a simple
Hallelujah.
reason, it's
Hallelujah.
in the Exodus 20, verse 11. It says there, "For in 6 day, Lord," which is His name,
Okay.
made is His title, heavens and earth. So hold on. If you keep the Sabbath, that means what? Who do you worship then?
You worship God.
Okay.
Specifically to the creator of the heavens and earth, just like the Revelation 14 the angel was talking about. Identify who do you worship. If you worship on Sunday, my goodness, there's a lot of things coming your way because you go in.
Sunday's the Sabbath, though, isn't it?
Who told you that?
Well, that's what
Did you read it in the Catholic Church?
Well, that's what everybody believes. Sunday.
Oh, that's just a
whole
belief.
world
So they
goes
never
to-
checked it, so they decided to believe and not confirm it.
Okay.
That's the
well.
difference. That's where the people
We
right
have
now go to
we have
churches.
go into detail
Oh,
on
for
that.
sure. Anytime. I love
don't
it.
know that you have to bring me some support to show me that why
Uh,
Sunday is not the Sabbath.
Because any day you can count
Sunday
it,
is
it
the
will come
first-
7. If you
Sure.
begin Monday, it
Yeah.
will come 7.
Sure.
If you
Well, let's
begin
open
Friday,
up Matthew 28. Every single gospel of all of them, the last
All right.
last
I'm glad you
chapter.
really make sure that this man is telling the truth.
You
Yes.
know exactly. Check me out.
Okay.
Well, let's go to Matthew 28.
Matthew 28, huh?
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. When did Jesus Christ was resurrected? Which day?
Okay.
it was Sunday.
And it says there,
Sunday
28.
morning.
Now after the Sabbath,
Okay.
as the first day of the week began to dawn. So hold on. At the first day of the week, Jesus Christ was resurrected. It says here, it's taught, and you know the Catholic Church telling you what you worship in the Sunday because in honor of Jesus Christ being resurrected. Well, whereas the whole history shows what you actually worship in the sun, and you trying to worship a sun god from the old pagan religions which you have.
Well,
Because
you're really
they,
jumping ahead
yes, it
anyway.
is, but it's a constant. Well, because you always cut me off,
Yeah.
so I gotta hurry up.
You have to
Constantine is the one in
in
300
get cut off. Yeah.
Well, the first day of the week is Sunday, so it's always been first day of the week. It's never been changed. You look at your
Well,
own
you can't- you
calendar
can't
right
really-
now.
You can't really. Oh, okay, no, okay.
Even your own calendar right now
Wait a
will
minute,
show
wait a
you
minute,
the
wait a minute.
Sunday is the
I
first
can-
day of the
If
week.
I start on Monday.
It's you. It's your calendar. I go by the God's calendar.
Well,
It's you can't go by your own stuff. You gotta follow what God said because
Okay.
we're not old
Well,
God.
now I can see that there's some sense in that because if I started with Sunday being the Sabbath, then it couldn't be the first day.
No.
Okay.
Then
yeah,
all of
so
a
that
sudden
makes
you
sense.
make up another rule. What is
Right.
the 11th commandment you just made up, you know? But
Yeah,
also,
okay.
guys, you really gotta
Well,
learn
now I
about
understand
10
a little
commandments.
bit about that being the seal from what you were saying.
Exodus 31.
What is this mark, though?
Well, the mark is the mark of the beast, which is identifies. It's take a look. We already learned what's the mark of the beast is. Actually, will identify the laws of the governments, of certain governments, which was passed all over the world to establish the uniform government, which was the merchant law, which came from Babylon, and it's called right now Uniform Commercial Code. In the 1950s, and probably you in Rwanda's. Oh, I'd like to ask you that question. Do you remember maybe in your life the government actually had to recount you and then gave you specific numbers, like 11-digit numbers to identify you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, what year would you remember?
I don't remember, but I remember in my country, Africa, how they have prepared, the colonial have prepared everything before the genocide.
So you see, it was connected to
There
the
was-
genocide.
There was beginning to measure the noise, say you are the best and you are not the best. And the world was African, you understand?
That's
And they put it in their identity card.
Yep.
This is the Hutu and this is Tutsi.
Oh,
because
okay.
they know exactly when they will kill each other. I have seen this experience in the animal. Every time in the chimpanzee and the gorillas, when you give favoritism, you give a more opportunity or more favoritism to the one child. The other chimpanzee, they come and they kill.
Oh, okay.
Yes, today you go to. I remember another guy. He have a lion, big lion, and the lion could not return home because they've kept it home for a long time. They take it to the park. They put a big fence, very, very strong. After 1 month, the other lions, they come out from the forest. They say, we try to work hard in the jungle. We try to do hunting. You are there, you are eating, you are big, you are making noise here. They kill the lions. So you have seen Cain and Abel. One kill another because of favoritism. So they have a bad identity and you have a good identity. All the time, when you talk about identity, I have a big experience of that, man. That is
so
terrible.
So was I. When I was, take a look, I was a Russian who was born in Latvia.
So you understand?
Okay, and the Latvian hated Russians. And I'm exactly the same color too. Okay. You know, I'm white man, but they would not give me citizenship just because my parents wasn't born in Latvia.
Oh,
just because they hated Russians. So that's why, I mean, for me, I'm real sovereign because I really do not have no countries on the world at all.
Really sovereign.
I am truly sovereign, and I'm very pleased to say I'm a God's servant.
The same to me.
Same here. You see, but the things what's happened already
I'm a victim of that.
Yes, in our lifetime, what we see and what's all over the world, we had that specific numbers was given to all of us around the world.
Wherever your tribe see you are becoming victim of nonsense.
Yeah. So,
but it's not nonsense.
Well, see,
I call nonsense because imagine to die because somebody have give you the identity you didn't choose.
Well, see, that's what we feel too. That's why we call ourselves sometimes the African American of slave descent, because we really have no country to point to.
There is no difference.
We don't know if we're Rwandese or Ethiopian. Or we don't know.
You gotta really remember,
so we're
guys,
sovereign too.
We all consider to be slaves. Every one of us. So all around the world. Doesn't matter what colors we are or anything else. It's all about.
Well, you know what? This was such a good show, and I'm so glad that my friend Muchacho, we call him Muchacho Man. He was a tour guide in Rwanda, and the movie
Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda.
In the midst of her, with the movie that they made, the Gorillas, he was the tour guide.
Oh, that's awesome!
And so we have a very famous person with us today, but that's why I had to have him on the show, put his opinion in here. But we want you to. Pay attention to Friends of Justice, For God Productions. Our future shows will have Andre Bellows and other guests on. We'll be talking about these very fiery issues. What is the seal of God? Wow, we found something today. We found out something. We touched on it a little bit. What is really the seal of God? Is it a day? Is it a mark? What is it? Can we get the seal before 2012? Will it be too late? Wow, there's a lot of things that we have to look forward to. So we're asking you to stay in touch. Continue to look at us, at real people with real answers. And that's all for today. Thank you very much. I'll see you again on the next show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
All right.